Welcome back, guys, to another one of our videos where we teach you some Korean. My name is Tara.
My name is Dana.
And let's get started. In this lesson today, we are going to learn about the subject marker, 이응가. In the beginning, 이응가 is not really important because when your sentences are so simple, you don't really need it. Many people will just drop it. But still, we need to learn how to use 이응가. Because later on, when your sentences become more complex, you need a subject marker so you know what you're talking about, who you're talking about. If you remember in our previous lessons, like sometimes when words end with a consonant and vowel, they use a different word. If the noun ends with a consonant, you need to use E. If it ends with a vowel, you need to use ga. So let's start with the first example.
So here's example sentence. 의자가 있어요. 의자가 있어요 means I have a chair because 의자 finish with a vowel, you use 가. 의자가 있어요.
Easy, right? Let's go to the next example. I have another sentence. It says, I don't have an eraser. You can say it as
지우개가 없어요. 지우개가 없어요.
Yes. Because this also ends with a vowel, you need to use ga. Now, I have a new sentence, and you can practice this with your friend when you see someone new. You can say,
이분이 누구예요? 이분이 누구예요?
This means, who is this person? 이분 means this person, and 누구예요 means who is. So who is this person?
So because 이분 finish with a consonant, you use E.
And then your friend can respond.
미나예요. 미나예요.
Yes, her name is Mina, and of course 예요 means is, so she is Mina. So when you first meet someone for the first time, there's many questions you can ask. This is a question you can ask your new friend. And this one means, what is your job? 직업 means job. 뭐예요 means what is. What is your job?
직업이 뭐예요? 직업이 뭐예요?
And then your friend can respond.
선생님이에요. 선생님이에요.
선생님,
선생님이에요.
선생님이에요. 선생님 means teacher. 이에요 means is, so I am a teacher. So let's recap on how to use E and ga, the subject markers. If your object ends with a vowel, you need to use ga. If the object ends with a consonant, you need to use E. Now, what makes this really, really easy to remember is just try using the other one. For example, if you try to say 우산가, it doesn't really roll off the tongue, right? It's so much easier to say
우산이.
우산이. When you try to say 우산가, it doesn't really flow out of your mouth easily. 우산이, If you try to say 시계이, it doesn't really roll off the tongue, right? So you have to say 시계가. If you try to say 시계이, you're trying so hard to say it. So really, try to use other objects and try to figure out which one is 인가, because it really just flows out of your mouth really easily. And as always, guys, we have a test. And guys, it is a little bit more difficult, but I think you can do it by yourself. So in this test, I want you to translate the sentences into Korean. That's all you got to do. As always, I will leave the questions on for a few seconds. You can pause the video if you need to. And after that, we are going to answer the questions together. Here is the first question. Alright, so the first sentence is, I have chopsticks. To say chopsticks in Korean, you need to say
젓가락. 젓가락.
Now, this word ends with a consonant. So you will need to use
젓가락이 있어요. 젓가락이 있어요.
Yes, because it ends with a consonant, you need to use E. You cannot say 젓가락가. It doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it?
Yeah.
It sounds strange. All right, here is question number 2. Okay, so this sentence says, I don't have a skirt. To say skirt in Korean, you can say
치마,
chima.
치마.
Because it ends with a vowel, you will need to use
가,
ga. And then you can say,
치마가 없어요. 치마가 없어요.
yes, chimaga 없어요 means I don't have a skirt.
가,
Ga. And then you can say,
치마가 없어요. 치마가 없어요.
yes, chimaga 없어요 means I don't have a skirt. Here's question number 3. Okay, this sentence says, I don't have shoes. To say shoes, you can say,
신발, 신발.
and this ends with a consonant. Because it ends with a consonant, you need to use
이,
E. Yeah,
이.
yeah, you need to use E. So, to say I don't have shoes, you need to say,
신발이 없어요. 신발이 없어요.
yes. This is hard for me to say, so I'm not gonna try it. This character, I can never say that. Let's just move on to question number 4. All right. So this sentence says, I have a bed. To say bed in Korean, you can say,
침대, 침대.
and this ends with a vowel. Because it ends with a vowel, you need to use
가,
ga. To say I have a bed in Korean, you can say,
침대가 있어요. 침대가 있어요.
yes, 침대가 있어요. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, the next sentence says, I don't have a watermelon. Watermelon in Korean is,
수박, 수박.
and because it ends with a consonant, you need to use
이,
E. And to say I don't have a watermelon in Korean, you can say,
수박이 없어요. 수박이 없어요.
yes, 수박이 없어요. 수박이 is 없어요. Am I saying it correctly?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. All right, last question. And our last question says, I have a hammer. Hammer in Korean is,
망치, 망치.
and this finishes with a vowel. Because it ends with a vowel, you will need to use
가,
ga. Yes. So, to say I have a hammer in Korean, you will need to say,
망치가 있어요. 망치가 있어요.
yes. 망치가 있어요. 망치가 있어요. Man, I always mess that up. 망치가 있어요. 망치가 있어요. And guys, that is the end of our test. You did it.
Good job.
Good job. I hope that test wasn't too hard. But, with more practice, it's going to become more easier. So I hope you learned something today. Inga is a really strange grammar rule because sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. A lot of people just drop it and don't even use that at all for simple sentences. But like I said, when the sentences become more complex, you will need it. So it's really important that you know how to use it. I know it's not easy. You're wondering like, why am I doing this? But at the end, if you keep practicing, it's going to become so easy for you that you won't even have to think about it. You don't even need to think about the grammar rules. Like, is it E, is it ga? Do I need to use this or that? It will come to you naturally. And that's the end of our video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Leave a comment. We love all of that stuff. My name is Tara.
My name is Dana.
See ya.
See ya.